हेलो स्टूडेंट्स। तो शुरू करते हैं आज की क्लास। आज हम सेमीकंडक्टर में ऑप्टो इलेक्ट्रॉनिक डिवाइसेस स्टडी करेंगे। ओके, तो ऑप्टो इलेक्ट्रॉनिक डिवाइसेस हमारे पास 3 हैं। नंबर 1, इट इज़ एलईडी, लाइट एमिटिंग डायोड, एंड दिस इज़ द सिंबल ऑफ light emitting diode. It's a PN junction diode with 2 arrows going outward. Outward going arrows indicate that light is going out from it. Okay. So second is photodiode. This diode is used to detect light, means it is a sensor of light. So when light falls on it, 2 inward arrows indicate that light is falling on it. So it will tell you that there is some light even if you are not present there. Means you put this photodiode on the roof and you are in the basement. You cannot see any sunlight there, but 2 wires from photodiode are connected, and at your basement they are connected to a microammeter. Okay, you can see the reading of microammeter. If microammeter shows some good reading, maybe 3 microampere or 4 microampere, that means sun is shining brightly. And if micrometer shows 0.5 microampere or maybe null deflection, that means it's dark on the roof. Okay, so photodiode is a light sensor. And the third device is solar cell. We all know much about it because it's the future. It generates electricity. So as it generates electricity, so it is shown by a battery with a circle, and light is falling on it. 2 inward arrows indicate that light is falling on it. So we begin with LED, light emitting diode. So first of all, we must know that this light emitting diode operates in forward bias. Forward bias. Okay, it cannot operate in reverse bias. So we must remember this fact that light emitting diode operates in forward bias. So what happens, there is a junction. As we see, there is a junction where P and N meet. So when we give electricity voltage to this LED, then free electrons cross junction and falls into hole. So free electrons are just conduction electrons and holes are just vacancies for electrons. When conduction electron falls into hole, that is vacancy for electron, then radiation or photon of light is emitted. For a normal PN junction, the photon emitted is a infrared photon which just heat up the diode. But for this special light emitting diode, the photon emitted is a visible photon. It may be red, blue, green, yellow, orange. So any of the 7 color from Vibgyor, ranging from 0.7 micrometer to 0.4 micrometer. So there you see there are many kind of LEDs now, and we were not able to make white LED earlier because we were not able to make blue color LED. Other color LED were made earlier. So a Japanese scientist ultimately discovered blue LED, and with the combination of 7 lights, we got the white LED, and it is the future and it is the present. Now we see LED everywhere, LED bulbs, LED tube lights. So we move forward as you got this basic idea of LED. Okay, now this is how we make a circuit with LED. This is a light emitting diode. we put it in forward bias, battery's positive terminal is connected with P and negative terminal is connected with negative terminal of the battery. A resistance is placed in between to protect the LED from higher voltage. So okay, so LEDs are also of two type. Normal LEDs generally generate light. Okay, white LED, red LED, green, blue LED. We see them in toys, but we see a small LED in front of remote control, your TV's remote control, your AC's remote control. That particular LED is infrared LED, and other LEDs are normal LEDs. So for normal LED, the energy band gap between the material we use for making this junction diode being used in LED must be 1.8 electron volt to 3 electron volt. This is very important. You must note this. The energy band gap for a normal LED should be 1.8 electron volt to 3 electron volt. But if we want to make LED for a remote control, then energy band gap should be 1.4 electron volt. Lower the energy means it shifts from visible light to infrared. Okay, so what happens exactly, I already told you, but just to conclude, conduction electron go to valence band during recombination with holes, and in this process photon of light are emitted. Okay, this is how an LED works. Okay, now we move to our second topic, that is photodiode. I already told you it is a sensor to detect light. As its name suggests, it's a sensor photodiode, so we already know it's one of the application that it will be used in detecting light. Okay, so we move forward in photodiode. So one thing we must note, that photodiode operates in reverse bias. Photodiode operates in reverse bias. It never works in forward bias. So as I already told you, it works in reverse bias. So negative terminal of battery will be connected with P type. As simple as that. And it is connected with a micro ammeter, because in reverse bias current is very less. Okay, so now we will see its characteristics. Characteristics of a photodiode. So if we put the photodiode in dark and we give it some voltage and we check the reading of microammeter, dark, no light present where the photodiode is placed. So the current in microampere, the flows that flows to the photodiode is very less. Okay, now we put this diode in some light. Say intensity of light there is L1. Now we show another graph and we see, oh, now the current in passing through photodiode has increased considerably. Now we put this diode in a place where light is more than the earlier one. Then we see, oh my god, the current has increased. If we put it strong sunlight, then you will be surprised to see that current has further increased. So this is very simple to conclude. As we put the diode in light, then more current flows through it. If we put the diode in dark, then very less current flows through it. So it is very easy to distinguish whether the photodiode is placed in light, or it is placed in dark, or it is placed in mediocre light. So this is how a photodiode acts. A very important question regarding photodiode comes, and that is why photodiode works in reverse bias only. And this is a question I want you to search the answer and we will revert back to it. Okay, so now we move further in our third and final topic, that is solar cell. As I already told you, it's the future of electricity. Okay, and India has ample of sunlight, so we are blessed that we can harness this energy very effectively. Okay, so suitable material for making solar cell are silicon and gallium arsenide. Why they are suitable material for making solar cell? They are suitable material for making solar cell because their energy band gap is approximately 1.5 electron volt. Okay, and what good does this make? I will just discuss it. Okay, so this is actual diagram of a solar cell. This is its symbol, as I already told you. So what happens? Light of this energy. This is the energy of one photon of light. H is Planck's constant. F is the frequency of that photon. So this light falls on the junction of this solar cell. So now what happens if this particular energy of this photon is greater than energy band gap, the energy band gap, which is 1.5 electron volt in our case. If it is greater, then what it will do? It will break a covalent bond and free a conduction electron and a hole. Free a conduction electron and a hole. So now these electron will move towards this end, okay, toward the p end, and a hole will move toward the n end. Okay, and this solar cell is this solar cell is described with the help of three processes. First is generation. Generation means generation of electron and hole pair. As I already told you, if the energy of the photon is greater than energy band gap, then a hole and a conduction electron will be generated. This is the first step, generation. Okay, now the second step, separation. Now when these hole and electron are generated, they are separated toward the terminals of p-n junction diode. This is separation, and it happens when the solar cell is in open circuit, and it induces a EMF, and that EMF is called open circuit voltage. This happens in separation. Okay, now if we apply a resistance across it, complete the circuit, then what will happen? This EMF will push electrons to move in the circuit, and electron and hole will be collected. This third step is collection, and current will flow in the circuit. Okay, if we remove this particular resistance, then the current which flows through the circuit is called short circuit current. So in fourth quadrant this graph comes because it does not consume electricity, rather it generates electricity. So its graph will be neither in first quadrant nor in third quadrant. Its graph will be in fourth quadrant. This is open circuit voltage, and this is short circuit current. This is how a solar cell works. So generally we do not use a single solar cell, we use a panel of solar cells, and we call it a solar panel, and we multiply the voltage generated by each individual cell, and thus we can get 220 volt, 110 volt, 12 volt, whatever we want. So sufficient for today. Okay, so take care, stay safe.